Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much.
What if power isn't stolen in one blow, but shaved off in whispers? Have you felt that small sting when someone talks over you, and you say nothing? How many little moments are quietly rewriting your story? Let me share a hard lesson. Power rarely vanishes at once. It's taken bit by bit, in ways so small they seem invisible. It slips away when you ignore that quiet sting in your chest, when someone talks over you, mocks you in passing, or shrugs off your ideas as if they were never worth hearing. We call it small, but it isn't. It's the first step toward a fall. The enemy of your strength doesn't always arrive with threats. Sometimes it wears a smile. Sometimes it sits at your table, people you've trusted for years. These silent slights are dangerous because they're easy to excuse. You tell yourself, it's not worth a fight. Maybe they didn't mean it. Say that often enough and you train your spirit to tolerate what should never be tolerated. How many times have you swallowed your words? Not because you were wrong, but because you didn't want trouble. How many times did you laugh off an insult that cut deep just to keep the peace? Each time, you give away a piece of your authority. You signal to the world that you're willing to be diminished. And those who crave control sense it like a wolf senses fear. Here's how it happens. They interrupt you once, and you stay quiet. They do it again, and you smile, pretending it's fine. Soon you're left out of the conversation altogether. They've learned they can erase your presence without resistance. At that point, it's no longer about words. It's about power. Power you surrendered without noticing. Some believe silence is strength. And yes, there is a time for silence. There's a season when silence holds power. There is a kind of silence chosen with wisdom, and another born of fear and surrender that chokes the life out of your influence. If someone belittles you in public and you say nothing, that isn't humility. It's surrender. Silent disrespect never stays small. It grows and spreads. Left unchecked, it shapes how they treat you and how others see you. People take cues from what you tolerate. Let someone talk over you, and soon others think it's acceptable. Let an eye roll slide, and others will follow. Before long, you're in a room where your voice no longer matters, because you taught them it doesn't. I don't want to be confrontational, you say? Confronting disrespect doesn't mean shouting. It means holding your ground, meeting the moment with calm, unshakable presence that says, I see it, and it stops here. You don't need a storm to be strong. You need refusal to be moved. When those first subtle slights pass unchallenged, you plant the seed of your own downfall. It grows roots that wrap around your confidence, your reputation, your influence. And by the time you try to cut it out, it may have strangled your opportunities. Life teaches this. People will test you again and again. Each time you let it go, you've said without words, I will allow this. Each time you stand firm, calm, clear, unafraid, you send a different message. You will not diminish me. Not here. Not ever. You don't have to answer with anger, but you must answer with clarity. Sometimes it's a steady look, a firm tone, and the courage to name what just happened. Do it not for revenge, but for respect, for the place God has given you to stand. The person who stops silent disrespect at the door rarely faces open betrayal. Why? Because those who undermine others hunt for easy targets. The moment they realize you're not one, they move on. Don't mistake permitting small slights for nobility. It makes you vulnerable. One day you'll learn that losing a friendship, an alliance, or a little comfort costs far less than losing self-respect. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow. If you let them step over you quietly, you may wake up buried beneath what you never confronted. Some of the most dangerous people won't raise their voice or slam a door. They'll smile, flatter, and make you feel seen, special, even chosen. But behind the honeyed words is a hook. It isn't kindness they're after. It's control. Manipulation rarely arrives as obvious deceit. It wears the mask of friendship, care, and loyalty. We fall for it because we're wired to trust those who treat us well, at least on the surface. The manipulator knows this. Their quickest path to your trust is to feed your ego and make you feel understood where others have failed. While you're basking in their attention, they're quietly rearranging the furniture of your mind. They won't insult you outright. They'll plant gentle doubts. Are you sure that's best? I'm just concerned. I wouldn't want you hurt. Those words sound protective, but listen closely. They sow dependency. Hear it often enough, and you start leaning on them for reassurance. Lean too far, and they've got you. Some of you are surrounded by people like this. No open fights, yet your choices keep tilting their way. Over time, your plans mysteriously align with what benefits them most. You begin second-guessing yourself without their approval. That's the line where companionship becomes control. The hardest part? Manipulation often comes from those we love, friends, family, co-workers, even mentors. We assume their intentions are pure because the tone is soft and the words don't sting. But manipulation isn't about how it sounds. It's about where it steers you. Look closely and you'll see each conversation nudging you toward their agenda, not your own. Their sharpest tool is guilt. They make you feel selfish for choosing what's good for you. They recite favors and having your back, packaging every request so that saying no feels like betrayal. Slowly, you start believing your life isn't fully yours, that you owe them every choice, every opportunity, every step forward. I've watched strong men and women crumble under this kind of influence. They start with vision, clarity, and confidence, but little by little, they hand over the wheel. They think they're keeping the peace, avoiding conflict. In truth, they're surrendering the power God gave them to lead their own lives. This is why discernment matters. Watch patterns, not moments. A manipulator can be kind one day, but trace the trail, and it always bends toward their benefit. They show up in your weakest hours, yet never cheer your greatest independence. They want you to need them more than they want you to succeed without them. Breaking free takes courage, because the moment you resist, the mask slips. That gentle tone turns offended. Suddenly you're ungrateful, cold, different. This is the crossroads. Shrink back for approval, or stand your ground and reclaim your decisions. Real friends, real allies, do not fear your independence. They celebrate it. They don't require your dependence to feel valued. Manipulators thrive on it. Without it, they lose their grip and will fight, subtly or directly, to keep it. If someone always seems to be guiding your path, step back and ask, whose dream am I building? Mine or theirs? If the answer isn't yours, you're living in the shadow of someone else's design. And no matter how, even if that shadow feels comfortable, it will rob you of the sunlight you were meant to walk in. Don't trade your independence for someone's approval. Don't mistake manipulation for love. The one who truly loves you won't clip your wings to keep you close. They'll help you strengthen them so you can soar, perhaps beyond their sight. Remove a manipulator's influence, and you may feel a cold wind at first, the warmth of their attention gone. But in that space, something greater than comfort appears, freedom. And it's worth more than any carefully crafted friendship. There's a certain kind of person with a clear pattern. They take, and when they're done, they wait for you to refill so they can take again. It isn't always money. Sometimes it's your time, energy, influence, kindness, your listening ear when no one else will listen. At first you barely notice. Giving feels good. You tell yourself this is what friends do, what love looks like, what loyalty demands. But deep down you sense the scales aren't balanced. You're pouring, they're only receiving. It starts small, calls in a crisis, a favor just this once. Your generous heart says yes. The first time feels right. The second still seems fine. Then, when you're the one in need, they're strangely unavailable. Calls go unanswered. Requests are brushed aside. Your struggle meets silence or excuses. Until the next time they need something and show up expecting the same open hand. The danger isn't only what it costs your resources, it's what it does to your soul. Give without return, without gratitude, without even the smallest reciprocity, and something inside grows weary. Ignore that weariness. Convince yourself that boundaryless giving is holy, and you'll end up emptied. Nothing left even for the mission God has called you to. Now, don't misunderstand me. There is joy in generosity and blessing in giving without expecting return. But wisdom discerns when someone isn't receiving, they're consuming. The difference shows in the fruit. In healthy relationships, both sides grow. You feel lighter, stronger, more connected. With a taker who never intends to give back, you end up drained, resentful, used. That isn't charity. It's exploitation. Some people in your life never ask how you are unless it leads to a request. They don't celebrate your wins or call just to check in. Yet the moment their car breaks down, their heart breaks, or they're cornered, they remember your number. Try to step back, and they recite every time you said yes, as if your kindness became a debt you owe. It's not only individuals. Entire environments, workplaces, communities, even ministries will gladly take your effort, ideas, and energy while offering nothing for your growth or well-being. They'll say it's for the cause. Sacrifice is noble, but a system that only takes and never invests will eventually break you. Your time, energy, and emotional strength are finite. You are a steward of those gifts. Keep pouring into people who never pour back, and you risk more than burnout. You neglect the relationships and responsibilities God entrusted to you. Every yes to a taker is also a no to someone who truly values and supports you. Here's a harder truth. When you enable constant taking, you don't just hurt yourself. You enable their weakness. You're teaching them they can live without accountability, without contribution, without ever learning to give. The longer you play that role, the more they'll expect it, and the less they'll respect you. Setting boundaries doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care enough to say, I can't give you what you refuse to give anyone else. It means knowing the difference between helping someone grow and keeping them dependent. It's the courage to reserve your strength for places where it bears real fruit. When you pull back from those who only take, the air clears. You regain energy for people who truly value your presence. You begin to notice relationships once buried under exhaustion. And the right people never drain you. They inspire you. The truth is, takers rarely change unless they must. If you keep supplying without consequence, they'll keep consuming without thought. When you finally say no, they may get angry, call you selfish, rehearse all you've done. Don't let their reaction convince you you're wrong. Their anger isn't proof of your guilt. It's proof your boundaries are working. You weren't created to be a bottomless well for those who won't carry their own bucket. You were made to pour into those who pour back, so together you overflow. To protect that flow, learn to close the tap on those who only come to drink. And beware a deeper wound, shame delivered in public. Public disrespect isn't just an insult. It's a calculated power play, a message to you and everyone watching that you can be diminished without consequence. Think ignoring it will make it disappear? You're mistaken. Public disrespect isn't random frustration, it's a message. Maybe they're undercutting your authority, signaling they're above you, or trying to make you hesitate the next time you speak. Whatever the motive, the effect is the same. You're pushed lower while they rise at your expense. It can be a sarcastic jab in a meeting, laughter at your idea, or a loud, baited question. Subtle or sharp, each moment tries to redefine how others see you. And it's not only the words, it's the audience. It's the eyes that watched you stand there and take it. Some claim silence is dignity. But in public disrespect, silence can be surrender. If the slight is deliberate, your quiet won't read as strength. It will read as weakness. The room notices. So does the offender. The blow lands twice. First on how you see yourself, replaying what you wish you'd said, then on how others see you. Allow it once, and they begin to think it's acceptable. Like fire, disrespect spreads when it isn't put out. I'm not telling you to shout or humiliate in return. I'm telling you to respond, calmly, firmly, without apology. Make it clear you won't be stepped on in the open. If you let it pass, you tell everyone your boundaries are optional. There's always a moment when the room holds its breath, waiting to see what you'll do. In that pause, you choose. Let the slight stand, or set the tone for how you'll be treated moving forward. You don't need their volume or their venom, only your clarity and resolve. Sometimes the answer is simple. Meet their eyes and say, that's not how we speak here. Or, I'll address your concern, but not in that tone. You're not out to crush them. You're making it clear you saw what happened and won't let it slide. Understand this. Public disrespect is often a test. They're watching to see if you'll bite, back down, or do nothing. Do nothing, and you clear the path for more of the same. Stand firm without losing control, and you send a different message. To them and to everyone watching. Many of us have swallowed these moments for years, telling ourselves it's not worth the drama. But peace built on quiet humiliation isn't peace. It's a slow erosion of your spirit. There's a difference between turning the other cheek and giving away your self-respect. You have a responsibility to guard your dignity, not from pride, but because dignity anchors your influence. If others think they can strip it away in public, your words lose weight, your presence loses impact, and your authority dissolves. And remember, your response isn't just about you. The person beside you is thinking, if they can do it to them, they can do it to me. When you confront public disrespect, you set a standard for the room. You defend yourself and show others they have the right to be respected, too. When you let it slide, you teach the room that disrespect is survivable without challenge, and they may stay silent when it happens to them, too. You may think quiet keeps the peace, but it often keeps the problem alive. The longer it lives, the more power it takes from you. Public disrespect is a thief. It doesn't just steal a moment. If you allow it, it takes the ground you stand on. Some of the greatest threats to your life and calling won't come from open opponents. They'll come from those who smile in your face and speak well to you, then quietly plant doubts when you're not in the room. They seem supportive, but only while your success doesn't outshine theirs. Ever felt a handshake that loosens your footing? This betrayal is dangerous because it's not loud. It's quiet, measured, calculated. They want the appearance of loyalty while slowly weakening your influence. They won't attack directly. That would reveal intent. Instead, they use softer weapons, questions, hints, concerns, whispered to the right ears. I love what they're doing, but they mean well, though I worry they're not ready. On the surface, it sounds caring. In truth, it's a slow drip designed to erode your credibility without leaving fingerprints. Each harmless comment leaves a mark, and over time those marks become cracks in others' trust. You may not notice at first. Maybe you even feel grateful because they defend you in public, show up at events, say all the right things. Yet behind the curtain, they quietly reshape how people see you. In their own story, they're never the villain. They cast themselves as the friend who's looking out for you, gaining permission to speak in rooms you can't see. The damage is slow, almost invisible, until one day you sense the shift. People who once trusted you hesitate, opportunities drift elsewhere, conversations turn cool, and you can't quite name why. That's the work of a saboteur. They weaken you without ever stepping into the open where you could confront them. Why do they do it? Insecurity. Your progress highlights their lack. Your influence reminds them of what they haven't built. They'll cheer, just enough to look supportive, then pull back just enough to slow you down. In these moments, the temptation is to dismiss your instincts and say, no, they wouldn't do that. But what does the pattern tell you? They've been with you for years, they've helped, and maybe that was true until now. But loyalty is proven over time, and betrayal often arrives at the moment it hurts most. Just because someone started with you doesn't mean they're meant to finish with you. The challenge is that confronting this kind of person is risky. They operate in the shadows. Accuse without proof, and they'll deny it with righteous indignation. Others may side with them because they appear loyal. So don't chase every whisper. Make yourself unshakable. Strengthen your character so lies don't stick. Build a reputation on ground so solid that one person's quiet sabotage can't topple it. At the same time, be wise about what you share and with whom. A saboteur's power is fueled by access. Access to your plans, your weaknesses, your private struggles. Stop giving them material, and their influence shrinks. You don't have to cut them off loudly. Sometimes the strongest move is to stop feeding what they can use against you. There will always be people threatened by your growth. You can't control their feelings, but you can control your boundaries. Choose to surround yourself with those who want you to rise, even higher than they will. True allies never dim your light to feel secure in their own. The hardest part is accepting that some people you care about may be quietly working against you. That truth hurts, but it's necessary. Until you see it, you'll keep opening the door to those who use your trust as a weapon. Once you see it, you can decide that trust must be earned, not assumed. If you're going to protect the life and purpose God gave you, learn the difference between a friend's correction and an enemy's sabotage. Correction builds you. Sabotage breaks you. One strengthens your foundation, the other chips at it until it crumbles. And once you can tell the difference, you'll stop mistaking betrayal for loyalty. We love to use the word forgiveness, and rightly so. Forgiveness frees your heart from bitterness and lets you move forward unchained. But somewhere along the way, many of us confused forgiveness with permission. Forgiving someone does not mean restoring them to the same place in your life as if nothing happened. When you do that, you teach that betrayal has no consequence. The first time someone wrongs you, it's a test for both of you, a test of their integrity and a test of your boundaries. If they learn you forgive without accountability, they take note. The second time isn't a test, it's a pattern. By the third or fourth, it's no longer just their habit, it's yours, too, because you've made a habit of letting them back in. We tell ourselves, I'm giving another chance because people can change. Yes, people can change. But change requires repentance, not repetition. It requires ownership and proof in actions. Without that, you're only reopening the same door for the same thief to walk through again. The danger of repeatedly forgiving the same offense is that it normalizes the offense. What once shocked you becomes expected. Your urgency to protect yourself fades, and familiarity becomes dangerous. You begin to accept what you once would never have tolerated. Think of how many remain stuck in toxic cycles, relationships, partnerships, even family dynamics, because they kept offering second, third, even 10th chances without requiring real change. They believe they're showing grace, but what they're really showing is that their boundaries can be crossed without consequence. Grace without wisdom isn't grace, it's enabling. Forgiveness is for your peace. Boundaries are for your protection. You can hold both. Release the offense from your heart without reopening the door to the offender. Wish someone well without walking with them again. Many hesitate to draw that line, afraid of being labeled cold, unloving, or unforgiving. Hear this. Protecting yourself from repeated betrayal is not a lack of love. It's respect for the life and purpose God has entrusted to you. When you allow someone to betray you again and again, you invite more pain and confirm their behavior as acceptable. You become part of the problem, not part of the solution. And here's the hard truth. Some people won't change until they lose access to you. Your absence, not your patience, forces them to face themselves. Closing the door is painful, especially when you care, but love without boundaries isn't love. It's self-destruction. The longer you excuse the same betrayal, the more you lose yourself. One day you may look in the mirror and not recognize who you've become, trading dignity for the illusion of peace. Ask yourself, have they truly changed or just learned to apologize well enough to stay close? An apology is words. Change is proof. Require evidence before you open the door again. You can forgive 1,000 times in your heart, but you should not give 1,000 chances to be hurt the same way. That isn't kindness. It's carelessness with your own life. If you keep allowing it, the blame won't rest only on them. It will rest on you for permitting it. Protecting yourself from repeated betrayal doesn't make you hard. It makes you wise. And wisdom has a cost. Sometimes relationships, sometimes comfort, sometimes the illusion that everything is fine. Wishing you good health and happiness. And remember to subscribe to my channel, Mindset Daily.